Hey folks, a couple months ago I released a YouTube video that was basically useless without this video. Okay, so in order to use this label, you have to have it in a full sheet format. There are 20 labels on each sheet of paper. So you create a new sheet, 8.5 by 11, and then of course all my calculations are based on pixels, and so you have to change it back to pixels. And then for a background, I actually don't want a background. I want it to be transparent. Okay, here is my new sheet, and it's time to set up some guides. And these guides are based on measuring the sheet of labels. And so the first guide has to be 112 pixels down from the top. And then I'm going to turn to one of my favorite ways to calculate stuff, and that's using a spreadsheet. And the labels are offset by a certain number of pixels each one, and I determine this number by measuring it, trying out a number, and then changing it as it didn't work over and over again until I got a number that works. And so the offset is 619 pixels. That allows me to set up the guides at the right area, and I will also put that in the video description. Okay, so once you have all of the guides created, then you can start editing your labels. So when I get honey, I don't get that much of it, and so I tend to use odd-shaped jars. Each jar weighs different and has a different amount of honey, so I tend to adjust the weight on my label. And sometimes they come from different locations around my area. I don't live in Alaska, but it seemed like a good place to have honey come from. So you first save your label, and then you can drop it into this full sheet page, and then you need to move that label. So select the move tool, and then you can grab and drag it up, and it will snap to the guides that you created. You can just drag it until it snaps to the top left corner. You can go into the original label again. You can change the location. So instead of from any town, I'm going to say that this next jar of honey was from any city, and it has a different date on it. And then I'll have a different weight as well. Okay, so you save this one as well as PNG, and then you can drag and drop it into the full sheet of labels. There, it's dropped in, and now I just need to move it. So you might notice this is incredibly tedious, and there's a better way to do it with some Python code. If you don't know code, I'm sorry. I will include all the code I've written in the video description. In order for me to do this correctly, I'm actually going to have 3 different text areas. And so because I had the harvest date and the harvest city all in one, I needed to actually delete that out so that I could have them as separate fields that could be updated. And make for sure that the text boxes run almost the whole width of the page. One of the errors that I found was that if the text box is too short, the text will show up down below with a carriage return, after it gets too long, and that text basically just disappears. And it took me a long time to figure out why that was doing that, and so there's your warning. Okay, so now that I have this date, I'm also going to make for sure it's centered. There it is, it's snapped to center. And now I'm going to label these fields a certain label, because I will call out that text field in my code. And the code that I'm going to have is, I've written this code in Python, and GIMP actually has a way that you can use Python code to edit images. And so I'm going to use that ability. Okay, so I've called the things location, date, and weight. And under tools, you can see there's Python foo and script foo. Okay, I wrote the Python code based on some videos that I watched from Jackson Bates. Very good videos about writing Python and then using it in GIMP. You have to save this Python code in the right location. So go into users and then whatever your username is. And then there's a hidden folder, app data. So if you don't see app data, you have to unhide it. And then roaming, and then GIMP, and then the version of GIMP that you're using. And finally, you get to plugins. So paste your code in that folder, and then what happens is the next time you start up GIMP, your macro will show up in the spot where you have designated it in your code. So in mine, I put it in the file menu. So there you can see it is there, but it needs an image open in order to operate, so it's grayed out. So I'm going to open an image, and I'm just going to open the label that I designed. Okay, this script also uses a text file, and it's actually a comma-separated variable file. So now you can see the script could be run. So we're going to go to the text file format. This is the format, and it has location, weight, and then the date that it was harvested. And then I have abbreviations in the file, and in the code it looks for the abbreviations and then puts in the whole city title or the location title. So the definition is generate honey labels, and then there's this register thing, and this is the part that I got from that other video from Jackson Bates that I'm not really going to explain how it works or anything. You can look up his videos if you want to figure that stuff out. Okay, so I start by defining my page size that I need for the 8.5 by 11 sheet, and then I start defining X and Y offsets. So that's where I want the first labels to show up, and then I have an offset multiplier that each label gets multiplied by, and that will define X and Y locations for further labels. I use this regex expression to go through the text file and pick out the data that's important. And then I just go through that file and I load all of those important things like the location, the date, and the weight into storage lists, and I will use those lists to generate the label data once I am finished with reading the file. And then I also count the number of labels that I need to generate based on the number of lines that are in that file. And then I create a number of sheets based on the number of labels. So if I have more than 20, I will create more than one label sheet. And then I have a couple of while loops, and those while loops run until I run out of labeled data. This is the spot where I update the date, location, and weight. And I'm able to get those because I labeled those things a certain name. And so this function will pick up that name, and we'll be able to modify that text. And then I set the text, and then I insert for each label, I insert a layer, and then that layer gets added to the label sheet. And then I have to update my row and column locations on the label sheet. And then I use that to actually determine the location of where the label should be placed on the sheet. So once I do all of this work, then I have to move the layers location with the transform. So that's a shift in X and Y coordinates and to the right location. Then I have to display those layers to the label sheet that I've made up at the top. Okay, so we're going to go see how this works, and I'm going to go down, run the script. I need to go find the CVS or the comma separated variable text file that I had my data, and that's what the script will use to run. And then I say OK, and it generates all the labels. So here's the full sheet that it generated with all of the updated text fields. And then it also generates a blank sheet, and I don't know why that does that. I haven't debugged the code, and I'm not going to. I spent a lot of time getting this thing to work, and you know what? It's just going to be what it is. So since it's blank, we'll just close it. And then in order to get this into a printing format, we need to export it as a PDF, or portable document format. So I go to the location where I'm going to save it, and then I click on the format that I want. There it is. And I call it something useful. And I say export. If I go open that PDF, there it is, all ready to print. And I would just feed the label sheet into my printer and then print this, and it would come out correctly. Hey, if you like these videos, subscribe. I'll make more. Bye.